What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to episode 21. Josh, we're at 21 episodes of the now generational sports, formerly known as Blitz Boys, and I am very happy. Josh, I don't know about you, but I'm very happy that CJ has finally joined us on the show. CJ, what is going on, my man?
What's going on, Josh? Connie, what's going on, guys? Thank you for having me today.
No, of course, bro. I've been trying to get this man CJ on, I feel like, for the last forever, and it finally came about. See, Alex is already in the comments.
Out the gate, bro.
I told everybody we were talking, before the show. I said, Alex and Josh are always got each other's back, and he already hating on me. So thank you for proving my point, Alex. It didn't take very long, but I appreciate it. And of course, before we get into the main show, got to shout out the sponsors, or as I like to say, pay the bills around here. So if you're into the gambling world, make sure you go over to mybookie.ag and you use promo code USM100 to double your first deposit. As CJ, you bring us the hype. We don't even do it for you. You bring us the hype. We got Caleb in here.
Yo.
I'm not relevant enough to mention in the comment. Yo, Alex, this is my show, bro. I don't come on your show Tuesday talking wild about you, even though I should, because we'll get into your bum Steelers later on. But anyway, if you were smart like me and put money on the Browns on my bookie and use code USM100 to double your first deposit, you got some nice money this week. Took the Browns money line because I knew that the Steelers weren't there. Oh, look, everybody's coming at me today. We got Kim saying this is actually Josh's show.
That's what's up.
Yo.
I guess I've called Caleb a frat boy too many times, so he doesn't support me anymore. But we'll move on from that. It's fine. I don't need him anyway. Also, make sure if you are into the CBD world, you go over to RXHemp, use code RXHemp to save you 10% off your entire order. And then finally, Teespring/store/unwrapped has all of your unwrapped needs. We got stickers, shirts. My sweatshirt is hanging on my closet door right now. And then of course, not only can you support Unwrapped, but you can support the gang. Me and Josh got the Gen Z merch. Backstop Banter, my other show on Thursdays, just dropped some merch. Amber has merch for Ladies First. I would mention Alex's merch, but nobody wants to buy that anyway, so I won't even bring it up. We got merch for everybody, so if you want to support the show, feel free. It helps us out to improve everything. The show was successful because of Josh.
Yeah, man. My back, bro. I gotta get a chiropractor or something.
Yo, it's all right. I'll take off next week. Fine. I'll just take off. See, now I got some support though. What's going on, Matt? How we doing?
Matt, what's good, my guy? What's up, bro?
All right, but let's jump into the who am I, as we always like to kick off the show. We got CJ here, so we're gonna give it to CJ this week. Josh, I know you got one, and for the people who don't know, we give the guests a nice little minute 30, minute 40 to try to guess who the person is. I will start the stopwatch after Josh's first hint.
All right, I think this one it's not super easy. I think due to your fandom, you should get it. Because I know you're a Pats fan, so you should be able to get this. But first hint, I was drafted in the second round of the 1999 NFL Draft.
99. Is that Patriots, right? Patriots?
Mm-hmm.
And second round, 99.
I spent all 13 of my seasons with the Patriots.
13. Trying to think here.
This hint will help. I'm the fifth-time all-leading rusher in rushing yards for the Patriots. So he's a running back.
Fifth all-time? Oh, that put me on the spot. Hold up. Oh, man. 13. Kevin Falk?
Yep.
Okay.
I couldn't come on the show and get it wrong, guys. I couldn't.
Even Alex got it right. I'm surprised because I didn't think he knew anything. were shocked about that one. CJ got the with more people coming on this show, it makes me realize how bad I am at the Who Am I's.
Yeah, that was
Josh
had to help me out. Bro. Josh threw me a couple of lives.
Yo, Josh, I don't know why you disrespect me like that. Man said
he couldn't get Tyrone. I don't know. He could.
Bro, what about Tyrone Calico? You couldn't get him?
Nah, bro, not a single human besides you. No,
bro.
Could have Tyrone Calico, and I Google still would not have. Well, played 2 years in the NFL.
That sounds like a you problem because Tyrone Calico is a god. As we got Drake coming over from YouTube, see people. Make sure you check us out on YouTube, Facebook, especially because Periscope apparently is shutting down in March. So make sure you go check us out on all the other streaming platforms. We're available on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, like I said. So make sure you check us out everywhere. Josh got the Corvette Steelers in the background.
I had to do it for Alex, man. Alex, just forget about yesterday. Look at these and just remember better times. Remember those Heinz Ward days.
Remember the days where the Steelers weren't the biggest disappointments in the NFL. Because over the last 10 years, if you can name me a more disappointing team, I'll give you money right now. Has anybody underachieved more than the Steelers?
Last 10 years?
Last 10 years, underachieved.
You could go with that Philly team when they got Namdi. They're supposed to be the dream team.
That was supposed to be the dream team.
Right, exactly, yeah. But they're up there. They're up there. But they have some flaws though that I think, we'll talk about it.
I am not the biggest disappointment in the family. In fact, I am the gold standard of the family. Everybody wants to be like your boy Alex. It's okay. I wouldn't even say Green Bay. I wouldn't because they've had some defensive problems. But the Steelers, bro, you're telling me you had the big 3 Bs or the triple Bs, whatever they said. You couldn't even get to did they ever get to a championship game?
AFC championship, but not
I didn't even think they got to an AFC championship game.
I think they've been there.
With the triple Bs?
Against New England. That wasn't the AFC that one time?
When they got smacked against the Patriots when Chris Hogan went off?
Was that divisional?
I think that was the divisional round. Because I think was that the year that they played the Jaguars in the championship?
Right. You're right. Yep. Yeah, that's divisional, yeah.
Alex. Perry pop it in here. The trio is elite. We're trying out here. We're absolutely trying. But let's get into these games from yesterday. We will start off with the team we're talking about right now, the Browns and the Steelers. And sorry, Steelers fan, but you got washed. They got absolutely washed in that game. At one point, it was 28-0 at halftime. From the very first play of the game, it was not too pretty. Looking like Super Bowl, what was that, 48? Seahawks and Broncos with a snap over the head. So it was definitely a tough game from the start. Big Ben threw 4 interceptions. You saw him after the game crying on the sideline. We can get into the game, but I want to start off with this. Do you guys think Big Ben is done? CJ, I want to start with you.
I'll give it one more year. I mean, we still seeing guys like Brady, like Breeze, still be able to play solid football. Facts. Well into the latter part of their career. So I think they just needed to work on some things in terms of running game. They really didn't play like Steeler football like we're accustomed to for so many years. It was kind of too much pressure on Big Ben, and there are times where he could turn the ball over, and it could get ugly, and that's what happened yesterday.
Yeah, Pouncy kind of announced that he was going to retire today. I did not know that, actually, Alex, that he said he wouldn't retire until Big Ben did. So that could get interesting as well. Josh, you think you more year?
I just don't think he wants to go out on that note. I think if it would have been a tougher game when they were battling in, I could have saw him retiring. But to go out on a game where he threw 4 interceptions and just had a really bad end to the season, I could see him retiring, but I don't think he will. I think he'll come back for one more year. I do think they get their future quarterback this year, but I don't think he plays. I think Big Ben sticks around for one more year and tries to go out on a better note.
Yeah, I can understand where you're coming from in a way, but if you're the Steelers, I also kind of wonder, if you want him back in a way. Like, don't get me wrong, of course, that is your former Super Bowl winning quarterback. As we got Michael coming over on the Twitch side. Glad you were all on Twitch now. You know, Michael, we're always here. Wow, what a great profile picture that is. Michael, that is fantastic. That might be my favorite profile picture from here on out. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of want to see Ben go out, and not because, you know, I want the Steelers to do bad or anything. I don't want this to turn into somebody who went out too late than too early. I think that this is kind of the right time for him. He had a great season. Yeah, the playoffs certainly didn't end the way that they wanted to, but I would much rather him go out on a good season and a bad end than go out how Peyton Manning did. Because you see the last year of Peyton Manning where, I mean, we all know that the defense won that Super Bowl, and Peyton Manning really had nothing to do with that. I don't want Big Ben going out that way because, you know, I still look at Ben, you know, this big, tough dude could launch the ball, you know, break sacks, everything like that. And Ben going out a little, I could see Ben going out too late, and that's what I don't want. It's like a fighter that can't hang up the gloves. I don't want it to be him going out because of an injury. And we've seen over his career that he has been injured a lot as well. So it's definitely something, you know, to look out for. And the thing that I'm also really looking out for this year is the Steelers have like 18 free agents this offseason. Like, this can really be like a transition period. So it could get a little dicey over in Pittsburgh. Now, what do you guys think that they should do? I mean, like I said, 18 free agents. I know Juju's a free agent. Marquise Pouncey said that he's going to retire. You don't know what's going on with Big Ben. I'm not doing it, but I've heard some people. Do you start questioning Tomlin because he hasn't been winning in the playoffs? Josh, what do you think?
I think even if they do decide to move past the Big Ben era, I don't think it's a full-on rebuild still at the same time. You still have young players like TJ Watt and Minka on the defensive side that can at least keep you competitive. But I do think they need to question whether they still want to ride this team out. I mean, they've been going at it since 2014 is with Big Ben and AB and Le'Veon, and they've kind of retooled since then. I do think they need to find their future around everything else. They have no running game. They need to get a running back. If Juju leaves, then they still have good receivers. So I don't think it's a full-on rebuild. I think it's you find that guy after Ben. That O-line is old, so they do need to rebuild that. But I think it's more of retooling than it is like a full-on rebuild. But I could see them moving on from Tomlin and moving on from all these guys just to try to get a head start on this retooling process.
I agree. CJ? Yeah, I agree with Josh for sure. I think, just retool. It had us. I mean, they were 11-0 at one point. Just things started to catch up to them. Bud Dupree got hurt. That's their main pass rusher. Devin Bush got hurt. That he's their captain. He's their quarterback of that defense at middle linebacker. So those are some huge losses for that team. And teams really just double TJ Watt and just try to let somebody else beat them. So I think they're still a really good team. I agree with Josh. They have to develop some type of running game. Like that's Steeler football. That's AFC North football. Really, to be honest, all of those teams outside of the Bengals right now, run the ball, play defense. So if they could get back to that, kind of minimize some chances for Big Ben, and then control the clock, and Ben will make plays when they need to make plays. Because even when they won those Super Bowls, they had Jerome Bettis, the first one, and then you have Rashad Mendenhall and those guys running the rock, controlling the clock. And then when it was time to be clutch, that's when Big Ben stepped up and made plays. So they need to get back to that. I think keep Tomlin because the Steelers, they've been known for keeping their head coach for so long. I mean, Bill Cowher was there for 15 years. So they and I think Chuck Noll was there for forever as well.
They have had like 3 coaches in like 50 years, haven't they?
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So that's been their tradition for so long. So I think they'll keep Tomlin. And when it comes to game managing, that's always been one of the flaws in Tomlin's game, in terms of managing the game, situational football in key moments. Yeah, I struggle with that. But I think they're still a solid team. Browns and Ravens are right there. The Bengals, if they decide to figure it out with some other pieces, they have a lot more work to do than those other 3 teams. But I think they should just retool, fix up some things. Will Juju be back? I mean, that's just a matter of whether or not he wants number 1 wide receiver money. If not, then they'll probably transition to Claypool as becoming that primary guy, and with Deontay Johnson as well, and then just go on from there.
You think, CJ, we talked about this on your 2K stream last night. Maybe Juju Corvettes his way over to New England. It ain't no problem.
It'd be a nice addition for sure. Especially with New England struggling to get a receiver that could break the cornerback after 5 yards. So if you could get someone that could do that consistently, that'd be good. I think with Juju, I think this was a humbling season for him. Especially with the TikTok, dancing on the logos. I mean, he's playing football. It's not like basketball where you could kind of do things like that and finesse your way. you can finesse your way to doing those things and kind of get away with it. Football, you're gonna get hit in the mouth. So you could be finesse and you could dance and do those things. But you got to make sure you back it up on the field too. So, definitely not at all.
See, here's the thing though. The one thing we might think Bill wouldn't want the TikTok dancing, but CJ, you know very well, Gronk was a party animal, and he let that happen. Right. I mean, then again, Gronk is probably the second or first best tight end of all time, but
But Gronk put the work in. He put the work in practice, and that's how he gained Bill's respect. So, and Gronk really partied after the season. That's when we kind of saw that. We didn't really see Gronk do. I mean, other than the Gronk spikes, we didn't really see him do anything like dancing on logos and things like that. So. He's going to have to, he's going to mature. He's going to grow. He's still really young, but this was definitely a humbling experience for him. And as he's about to get the money, teams are going to be looking at him to, step it up.
Yeah, that's the main thing. Like Trey just said right here, people will check you in football. Like you can do a lot of things in other sports. In baseball, you always look at the bat flips or pitchers. They, fist pump after they strike somebody out. What the worst that's going to happen? And don't get me wrong, it is still bad. You're going to get hit with the pitch. In basketball, you can cross somebody over, do dance in their face, whatever. And unless you want to get suspended for a season, you're not going to get punched in the face. You dance on the logo, you got, safeties coming down at you wanting to take your head off. And Juju definitely woke up to that, this season. But I think the Steelers are going to be fun to watch in the offseason. They have a lot of big decisions. I agree with both of you as well. I don't think it's a rebuild. There's teams you certainly look at, they have to rebuild, the Jets, the Jags, things like that. The Steelers have pieces. It's a matter of finding their next quarterback. I think Ben should hang it up, like I said before. There's a lot of trade targets. I've been playing a lot of games with Christian. Christian is a big fan of Sam Darnold coming over from the Jets. Obviously, Deshaun Watson wants to get traded right now. Carson Wentz looks like he wants to get traded right now. You, of course, have the draft as well. So there are a lot of options for the Steelers. It is definitely a team to be looking out for in this offseason and see what they end up doing. But let's go over to the other side of that game. And we'll talk about the Browns. They got their first playoff win since 96, I believe it is. So they are moving on to the divisional round. They'll play the Chiefs. How far do we think they can go? Obviously the Chiefs are the favorite. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, as Matt said, first playoff win since 1994. Chiefs are obviously going to be the favorite, maybe even a heavy favorite. But listen, if a team is going to beat the Chiefs, it could be a team like this. I mean, we saw it with the Titans last year. If you can control the ball and keep away from Mahomes in the offense, which is obviously the most dangerous part, that's how you have to win. You cannot score fast and do this track meet. You're trying to score back and forth. That is not how you're going to win the game. And even then, we did see the Browns kind of keep up with the Ravens in that Monday Night Football game. So I guess it is possible. But I mean, Kareem Hunt, the bootleg passes out to Jarvis Landry, Austin Hooper, if he gets involved a little bit more. I don't think they're going to win. We'll get into the predictions later on in the show, but to me, it's not crazy. It's not crazy if they win. Josh, I know that you've been Mr. Chiefs repeat all year, so I assume I know where you're going. But what do you think about the Browns and how they looked yesterday and what they're doing moving forward?
No, I mean, they looked amazing yesterday from the start of the game. I mean, when they went up 28-0, I did a live in-game bet. I took them minus 13.5, but that didn't hit because of the stupid late-game touchdown Big Ben gap. But outside of that, they looked really good, and I do think they can keep this Chiefs game very interesting depending on what Baker we see. because their run game is going to do what they do, and the Chiefs' run defense hasn't. It's been up and down this year, so I think the run game is going to do their part. But when you're playing the Chiefs, you're not going to win the game running the ball. You're going to have to take shots downfield. You're going to have to score a lot of points to beat a team like that. So I think they can't. They have a chance if they come out and play like they did yesterday. I think they have a chance. But this Chiefs team, I mean, they're going to put up 35 on you, and you just got to go into the game knowing that. So you got to be like, how are we going to get that 35 back? So that's why I think it comes down to how Baker plays, the decisions he makes, and just overall, can that offense keep up with them? Because if they go down big early, I don't see them being able to hang in there and be able to throw the ball well enough to get back into that game. But I do think they can make it interesting.
Yeah, I agree with both of you guys. You have to be able to control the clock, keep Mahomes on the sideline as much as possible. That's the only way you're going to win. Their secondary is a little depleted right now. So, if Mahomes does get it going, they got those guys, Travis Kelce, McCole Hardman, of course, Tyreek Hill. So they could, they do. I'm happy for them. I'm definitely happy for them to be able to make some noise. A lot of people in the first half of the season, they doubted them and were saying the same old Browns, and Baker was struggling, but they found their identity towards the second half of the season. Started giving that rock to Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, and it's worked well for them. And Baker's been keeping the ball and not turning the ball over, and that's been the main thing. Look at last year; he turned the ball over way too much. When you give the ball to the other team, 20, 25 times in the season, I mean, you've given the other team so many more possessions to go out there and score. So he minimized that this year, and that's why they have more W's. And last night, 3 touchdowns, no picks. So that's going to be their formula for success against the Chiefs. It's going to be a battle. Luckily, Stefanski should be back, calling plays. He should be on the sideline for them. So that's always a plus. You got to give credit to their special teams coach that played head coach yesterday. Did a great job. Situational football. They got some crazy plays, but they held it down and definitely kept the Steelers trying to play catch up throughout the game. So got to give the Browns credit. Right now, I think the Chiefs are a 10-point favorite right now. So they still got them, pretty much, doing their thing. But I think the Browns, it's them against the world. They gotta have that mentality. Why not them? They could go out. Can they cover? I don't know.
I got the Browns covering. I got it.
What's the spread at?
I think
what's
so.
it at right now?
It's at 10.
It's at 10?
Yeah.
That's a little. I feel like that's a little disrespectful for them.
Well, we'll also think about
it is the Chiefs. It is the Chiefs. Yeah.
One loss on the year. I think. No, I don't think Browns cover. I would go -10 for the Chiefs, honestly.
I will say they have struggled a little bit, the Chiefs, in the last few weeks before the season ended. That Falcon game, they could have lost that game, with a couple.
Dolphins won too.
Dolphins game as well. So, if I'm Stefanski, if I'm those guys, I'm looking at that tape and I'm seeing what ways could we implement our game plan into that and try to sneak a W.
Man, Connie, you froze again. Every time. But the next topic, we're going into the Titans and Ravens game. Last year, this game, this was what the Ravens wanted all year, basically, was to get the Titans back in the playoffs. And now Derrick Henry didn't have the monster game he had last year. He got virtually shut down. I think his longest run of the day was under 10 yards. I don't think he had any room to run against that defense. So, CJ, what do you think about the game and how the Titans ran their offense?
It was a smash mouth football game for sure. Salute to the Ravens. I'm pretty sure once they saw that team, when they got matched up with the team before the week, they were like, this is our chance to respond for what happened last year in the divisional game. That defense, man, you got to give credit to the defense first. I'll give credit to the defense first, and then I'll go to Lamar. They picked up guys like they got traded for Calais Campbell, Brandon Williams in there up front. They got guys like Derek Wolfe, Super Bowl champion. So for games like this, and they held Henry to 50 yards. That's the formula to success right there. You want to make Tannehill beat you, and that's exactly what they did. Turn the ball over way too many times. A lot of people talked about Tannehill being, MVP favorite towards the beginning of the season. I'm like, that's all Derrick Henry, because you got to load up the box. You got to put 8-9 guys in there to stop him, because he gets one crease and he could go 70. So, but they locked him down. They knew what they needed to do. And then Lamar, I'm glad he got that playoff win. And everybody in national sports media wants to talk about how, he doesn't can he win the big one? Can he win the playoff game? You look at the other young QBs out there, and in comparison to them, and that's been the difference. And he finally got it done. He played his way. A lot of people question his mechanics and things like that. And at times, it's a little shaky. He has some moments in that game, but I feel like his style right now is perfect for Ravens football. He can run the ball. He can control the clock. A lot of people talk about the 49-yard touchdown he had, but I look at the ceiling run when he cut back. He could have went to the end zone. He could have stepped out of bounds, but he juked back and laid it down and ate up the clock. That's just high IQ football right there. So he's an exceptional player. I think in time, he should work on his mechanics, because there's going to be some times 3rd and 7s, 3rd and 8s where they're gonna force you to make that throw. But he's still young. He's still improving. So I think he had a really great game. Glad he got this first playoff win off his back, and they're going to see Buffalo next week. Should be a good one.
Yeah,
for the win, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think I was really expecting in this game for both quarterbacks to be forced kind of out of their comfort zone, where the game is relying on their arm. And really, the Ravens just forced the Titans to do that by shutting down Derrick Henry. We saw that ugly throw from Lamar early in the game. But after that, I thought he was much smarter with his passes, wasn't taking those stupid chances. And he really just went out and used his legs, which is what we all know him to do, to be able to make shifty moves in the open field and put his team in position to win. And that point you brought up, CJ, that's just smart football right there, to not take the touchdown, not go out of bounds, just get down and run that clock, get your team a win. And I was really impressed. Like, that front seven just completely took Derrick Henry out of the game. And A.J. Brown was still making plays the whole game, but Ryan Tannehill he's been solid for them. But when you rely on him to win you a game with his arm on deeper throws, it's just never really going to work out your way. But the Ravens just dominated that game. And, going to center field after that interception and celebrating on the logo. I know people were calling it disrespectful, but these teams have been talking smack to each other for so long now. That's just kind of what I expected to see if they got a ceiling interception like that. So it was a fun game for sure to watch, because, it wasn't really over until the very end with that interception. But I was impressed with the Ravens just all around. They don't look like the playoff team they were last year.
Here's my thing. Do you guys think it was fully game plan, or do you think, back-to-back seasons of Derrick Henry carrying the ball an absurd amount of times really, ate at him as well? I know he looked great last week too, but that is still, like I said, another week of him carrying the ball a lot. You think it's all game plan? You think they might have to move forward, slow the carries down a little?
So I would say it was more game plan. I think it was more game plan. Like you said, he rushed for 250 last week against the Texans. So,
yeah.
And this is around the time. Look at last year. He had similar carry numbers, and he pretty much carried them to that AFC Conference Championship game with his running ability. So I got to give credit to the Raven defense. These last 6 weeks, they were 6-5 at one point. And a lot of people didn't know whether they were going to make the playoffs, and they went on a 5-game win streak and got it done and got in. So and a large part to that defense. So I'm definitely give Martindale, defensive coordinator, that the credit there, and they set up a great game plan. And like I said, 50 yards. It'd be different if he had 100 or something like that, but you hold him to 50, and his longest run was 8. That's pretty dominant.
Yeah, I completely agree. I saw a stat heading into the game yesterday that over Derrick Henry's last 20 games, including last year's playoffs, he had some insane number of yards, like 2,600, like most all time. So I think I don't think it wears on him, because he treats a lot of these defenders like kids. He just runs through them, and obviously he's a grown man. He can take the hits and all that. So I think it all just goes down to how well the Ravens played him all game. He can make plays out of nothing. You see him shed one tackle, and he's just straight line to the end zone. But they just really gave him no room to run. So I think it was definitely more game plan than Henry just fatigued.
Now, I know that CJ, you kind of answered it, and Josh, you might have, but I missed it if you did. I'll ask it this way: you had to give a letter grade to how Lamar played, like F through A plus, whatever you want. Josh, what are you giving him?
I'll go like a B minus. I think he played
Josh,
well.
I knew we were co-hosts for a reason. That was my exact grade.
I think he played well, not great. If you take away a couple of those really stupid throws, it's around the A game, but just some really dumb decisions out there, along with some really good ones. So I'd say it's around the B minus range.
Yeah, I'll give him. I'll say B plus. One, because of the pressure of finally getting that monkey off his back with the playoff win, and everybody's talking about it. He had a couple of bad throws, but they also really don't have Hollywood Brown's really their only receiver on the outside and make plays. Out of the 175 yards that Lamar had, I think 105 of those were to Hollywood Brown. So, the Ravens need to get some more weapons around him so he can be able to throw a little bit, because they know he wants to go to Andrews in the seam. So once they kind of lock that up and put a solid safety on him and double him, it's a little tough, but. I just feel like the running ability, that touchdown, he just pretty much ran past everybody. They all had the angle to stop him or push him out of bounds, and he just blew by everybody. So he's special, man, and that's his running ability is something you have to credit for. You have to be disciplined. If you're not disciplined, man, he could go 75, 80, man. He's that quick. So I'll give him a B plus just for the pressure, playing the same team, losing to them in the regular season this year. The rivalry between the Ravens and the Titans. We even look back when they had Eddie George and Ray Lewis in those days. Not bad. Yeah, I mean, he's special out there, bro. He's special. So, but yeah, with the rivalry that they had and back in the late '90s, it was a big game on the road. So I'll give him a B plus.
And, speaking on what you just said right there about them kind of being a rival. I know that they don't play each other, twice a year. It's not Ravens, Steelers. It's not, Patriots, Jets, if that's really a rivalry over the last whatever many years. But do you think that this could turn into like the next big rivalry? Because if I'm the NFL, I'm finessing the system. I don't care what it is. I'm finessing the system and making them play each other every single year until the bad blood goes away. And I would also absolutely make it a prime time team because, you saw it last year, where it was the Titans kind of separated on the Ravens a little ago. This year, the Ravens, kind of gave it right back to them. There's definitely some bad blood here or there. You think this is the next big rivalry, or you think it's just, throw it away? CJ, what you got?
It could be. Yeah, it definitely could be. I think this year what the difference was, the Titans defense wasn't as stout as it was last year. They really didn't have the guys on the edge to kind of stop a guy like Lamar Jackson, contain him, keep him in the pocket. You didn't have Clowney. Didn't have those guys this year to kind of make those type of plays. So I think once they kind of get that figured out in the front seven, both teams play the same way, run the ball, play defense. Kind of keep control the clock. So it's bad blood for sure. They didn't shake hands after the game either. So I like it. I like it. Definitely, it's fresh, all new. Rejuvenated some storylines. Like I said, they had some battles back in the day, back in the early '90s. I remember Ray Lewis and Eddie George. They used to go at it. So Jeff Fisher and Brian Billick had coaches. So it's good. Both of those teams are back into form, and I could definitely see the NFL having them go at it again next year.
Yeah, I could see it becoming a rivalry too, just because it's two teams that have history and two teams that. They always have a chip on their shoulder because they prove themselves every year and are still always underrated coming into the season. So I could see it becoming a rivalry. I definitely see the NFL taking advantage of what just happened on Sunday with their beef and making a primetime games early in the year. So I could definitely see it becoming a rivalry.
Matt, I will answer this question a little off topic. Who do you think was the national championship tonight? We're not big college people around here. Maybe Josh more than me. And CJ, I don't know about you. I shouldn't say we. I know I'm not. I hate Alabama, but I still think they're probably going to win. Who do you guys got?
Yeah, I got Alabama and I got the over, so I'm I'm hoping that they just shoot out and Alabama wins in the end. But I can see Ohio State putting up a really good fight.
Yeah, I think the Buckeyes are going to put up a good fight. Trey Sermon's been playing pretty solid right now out the backfield for them, but I'm gonna still go with Bama. Like they got the Heisman over there, Devontae Smith. I think Waddle was supposed to play today, so Mac Jones been throwing the ball around, and even if they want to control the clock, they could give it to Najee Harris. So I'm going with Bama. Got Ohio State by 10.
If that's a bet, that's pay now. That's pay now. All right, Connie, you're gone again. We'll get into the next game. Bills versus Colts. Josh Allen, I mean, he's been on fire lately, just putting up MVP numbers. So, I mean, he gets his first playoff win against a very tough Colts defense in what was kind of a grinded out game. CJ, how do you think he played in his first playoff game?
Yeah, Josh Allen looked good. Another one. Finally getting that playoff win. I think he played really well. First half it was a little shaky, but he picked it up in that second half. Finding this guy Diggs, who's had a phenomenal year. I think that's really the X factor for them this year and why they've made that step and going 13-3. Finally having a number one guy that can make plays in the short, intermediate, and going deep in those type of routes. So their connection they're in sync for sure, especially with not even having a long training camp, a long off season to really mesh and develop chemistry, and for them to go out this year and put up the numbers they put up was definitely special to see. So Josh Allen played really well. You just look at that 2018 class outside of Darnold and Rosen. I mean, these guys all got a W this weekend. So they did, and they've been the reasons why they've been winning games too. So he's special, man. I think he developed every single year. First year he kind of struggled with his mechanics, his footwork. That was one of his issues coming out of Wyoming. And ever since now year 3, he sees the field differently now. He can run, which is another thing people really sleep on. He's really super athletic. He's a big guy. He can move. So he does some read option plays as well. Now he doesn't have the quickness like Lamar, but he could definitely keep them on the field and control the clock. So the Colts, they had their opportunities. They had a Michael Pittman dropped a touchdown back in the corner of the end zone. They missed a field goal, which would have tied it up had Blankenship made that hit that field goal. So they had their opportunities. A lot of people want to put it on Phillip. He played well, but we already know what Phillip is. You have to surround some other guys around him. T.Y. didn't really play well. Tre'Davious White had him on lock all game. They thought he would have a bigger game, but Tre'Davious stepped up and answered the call. So got to give credit to the Bills. And like I said earlier about when I was talking about Baltimore, I mean that matchup is probably going to be one of my favorites this weekend.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I don't think people factor in enough the loss of training camp. When you're bringing in a number one receiver like Diggs, building that connection between him and Josh Allen is huge. That's everything for your offense, and especially having a rookie like Zach Moss coming in who's played as big of a role as he has. Not having that training camp it's a real hit to the team. But like you said, I thought they played great. I mean, the Colts, like you said, they got us around Phillip Rivers with weapons, and Jonathan Taylor has been good for them all year. He didn't have the day that they really needed him to have yesterday, but at the end of the day, it does come down to Phillip Rivers making those plays. They had a chance late to come in and get the win, but they didn't get it done. Back to Diggs, he's been amazing all year. I'm pretty sure he leads the league in catches. He's top 5 in receiving yards. Is he a top 5 receiver in the league right now?
Man, it's tough. It's tough, man. There's a lot of great receivers right now. A couple guys had some subpar years, but you would still take them over a few guys. This year, got to give it to him. I mean, All Pro, first team All Pro this year. He put up the numbers. A lot of people thought, who was the real number one in Minnesota? Was it him? Was it Thielen? And he went out and balled out and made some big time plays, big time catches. To me, he's their best wide receiver since Andre Reed. So back in the 90s when they went to those bowls. So I gotta put him up there. I got him up there with I got Diggs, Devontae Adams. Those guys really stepped up this year. Chris route runners. and they get the yards after the catch. So, yeah, I got him top 5 for sure.
Yeah,
What about you?
I feel like top 5 receivers. It really does go year by year because you look at a guy like Michael Thomas, unquestionably the best receiver last year. I think this year he doesn't crack the top 5 just because he didn't play a lot and he didn't get the numbers when he did play. So it's like it's Devontae, it's D Hop, it's other great receivers out there like
Got Evans and Godwin.
Godwin, really good. There's just so many really talented receivers, but I think at this point right now, Diggs has to be top 5. He's played amazing. He was great with Kirk Cousins and Case Keenum. He was amazing there. And then he gets a elite quarterback like Josh Allen and just puts up career numbers and was just amazing all year. But you're sleeping on my guy Lee Evans, man. He gets a little argument in there for the Bills top receiver.
Lee Evans used to make plays too. Yeah, definitely. But they just didn't have the quarterback back then.
He was dealing with Trent Edwards, which wasn't the best option.
Yeah, it was struggling, man. They finally got their guy, which is I'm happy for Buffalo.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then back to the Colts side, they got some young quarterbacks behind Phillip Rivers. Jacoby could re-sign. They drafted Jacob Eason, who was really good in college. Do you think this is it for Rivers? Do you think he comes back another year, or do you think he calls it quits?
If he does come back, I'm not sure if it's with Indianapolis. I think it's really up to him whether he wants to continue playing. He had moments where he looked like San Diego Phillip, and then there were some times where you're like, okay, turn the ball over too much. And then the Colts have to make a decision as well. What are they going to pay him? Are they going to pay him in that 20 mil range, 20 to 25 mil? I think they should explore and try to see what those younger quarterbacks. We saw Brissett already last year, so I don't think they're going to give him the keys. Hopefully they've seen Eason improve every single week. Again, there's another guy coming out, in a weird off season. Didn't really get time to really mesh with the team, so. That's a big step for him, just hand him the franchise so quickly if they're not too sure. So they might bring Phillip back for one more season, and then maybe after that give Eason the keys to the franchise. But there definitely been talks about potentially trading for a guy like Wentz, maybe getting a guy like maybe Matthew Stafford if the Lions want to completely dismantle the team. So there are some they could potentially draft a quarterback as well. So there are some options for Indianapolis. I think they should wait and see. Their defense is excellent. I think their defensive coordinator is definitely going to get some head coaching looks after the season is up. DeForest Buckner played excellent. So the offensive line, they're excellent in the trenches on both ends. So they're going to be a solid team in a winnable division. Just got to find that quarterback. But I think right now they should just keep their options open right now and just see what happens.
Yeah, I do think Phillip Rivers. It was a nice attempt. They had a really talented roster and they played well with Jacoby at quarterback. So when you think about bringing in a guy like Phillip, I think you can put it together. And they really had a nice season. They just ran into a Buffalo team that was on fire. So it was just unfortunate, bad timing. But I think it's time for Phillip Rivers to hang it up. If he gets an offer, because he's gonna ask for 20+ mil because he's Phillip Rivers and he still played solid this year. But I think if he doesn't get an offer like that from anywhere intriguing, I think he does decide to retire. And for their quarterback situation, I love Jacob Eason. I think he's got a great arm. I think he just needs more time to develop. And with a head coach like Frank Reich, I think you're in the perfect position to develop and got to learn from Phillip Rivers all season. So he's in a good position. But I could see them drafting a quarterback too. But outside of that, they got some good young receivers on the outside in Pittman and Pascal. So they got good running backs in the backfield. That defense, amazing. But what do you think on top of all these good things about them, what do you think they need to do this offseason to get back to where they were this year and hopefully win a playoff game, though?
I think just trying to stay consistent. They had some times in certain games where they looked really good in the first half, and then in the second half they struggled, which ultimately led to some losses. They had some really close games against some really good teams. I remember that game against Baltimore where it was ugly where they potentially had a chance to win, but they ultimately ended up losing just because of key possessions. So, I mean, to me, they're a really good team. I just think it's going to come down to finding that guy in the center, man. And that division right now, with everything going on with Deshaun and Houston, looks like the Jaguars are going to take Lawrence, and the Titans. Tim, we know what Tannehill is. So, they're gonna until one of those teams make a super leap. They're gonna always have an opportunity to win that division. It's gonna be winnable for sure. It's good, bro.
Yo, listen, let me tell you something. I'm never using computers ever again. And the Wi-Fi on the computer it's just not happening right now. So you know what? We've improvised. I'm on the phone. This is the beauty of doing things live. So we're A-okay, people. We're gonna continue on with this. I know I've missed a lot. But that's fine. We're all good. What are we on right now? We're on Bills Colts, I believe CJ was talking about, correct?
Yeah, we're talking about where do we see the Colts going forward?
Listen, Philip Rivers, it's time to say goodbye to the noodle arm, okay, buddy? I think Philip Rivers leaves. I think they draft somebody. They have some nice talent around there. Jonathan Taylor, T.Y. still there. Obviously, he's a little bit older now, but I still think he's got some talent left in him. Oh, look at Josh, even moving back.
I know you freak out. You got that OCD about being in the top left, so I was like,
listen, it's a problem. It's a problem. I'll work on it one of these days. But the Colts. I think the Colts are kind of in a Steelers situation. I think it's more of a retool than a rebuild. They obviously made the playoffs this season. I think if they had even better quarterback play than they did, they would have had a better chance in the game. Now, it was still a close game anyway. And I know you guys are on the Colts right now, but I want to go back to the Bills since I didn't get to put my 2 cents in. Josh Allen for the win, man. I've been trying to tell people all year that Josh Allen was nice with it. Now, we can get into the debate later of Josh Allen being better than Lamar, which is I'll take Josh Allen. I'm just saying, and that is not because I'm a Lamar hater. I think
you are. You are Lamar.
No, you're lying. You're lying to the people on the show right now, bro. Listen, because here's what it is. I think Lamar is still good. I just think Josh Allen's better, bro.
So you still think Lamar peaked? I
do. No, I think Lamar peaked absolutely. I think he hit the ceiling.
You don't think he'll ever be better at throwing the ball while he still has his mobility? You don't think that ever happens?
I would do everything Cam didn't do.
Yeah, 100%. He needs to learn from what Cam didn't do.
Yeah. Bro, listen, if I did say that he was going to be a Cam 2.0, so
right.
For Ravens fans, I hope not, because as we saw from Cam this year, even though Josh, thought he was going to be super Cam again, Cam VP, which I tried telling him.
I can dream, right? I mean, was I supposed to be like, he's coming back, he sucks. I don't even want to watch him.
I mean, I did.
That's because you just don't like him. That's very. You just don't like him.
Yeah, I try to be positive too, but yeah, once. See,
I finally brought CJ over to my side. CJ was a little iffy at first. He's like, oh no, maybe Cam's gonna be good. I said, no, CJ, come over to the dark side. Just realize that he's not with it. But the Bills played really good in this game. I don't know. I assume you guys got into the Stephon Diggs top 5 conversation as well. Well, where'd you guys go on that one? Yes, no?
Top 5, yeah.
We're on top 5.
Yeah. I think, and I don't even think it's just this season. I really think Diggs is a top 5 talent going forward. I think you got to start finally giving him the respect and putting him in the conversation of the Julios, the Devontae Adams, that big tier 1 group of guys. I really think you got to start placing him in there because, as you can see from this year, he's a dog, man. He can certainly play very, very well. He made Josh Allen look very good. I think it was definitely a situation where they helped each other because before this, Josh Allen didn't really have that go-to guy. So, he was trying to, fit the ball into tight areas, leads to more turnovers, leads to, lower completion percentages and things like that. But when you have Stephon Diggs leading the league in receptions and what was he, like first or second in yards as well? So he was absolutely great this year, but the Bills played well. if we're doing the same thing as Lamar, I'm giving Josh Allen solid A for his performance. Do I think DK is top 5? Not yet.
Not yet. Yeah,
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
DK's like 9, 10 range, like 9 through 15. You guys think I'm bugging?
Yeah,
or?
I don't think he's top 10 yet, but I think he's right there. Like he's on his way.
Yeah, I think the route running once he really improves his route tree, because I mean we'll talk about Seahawks Rams in a few, but Jalen had him on lock. But if he can, once he improves his route tree a little bit more, because right now he just looks like a down the field type guy. But he's super fast. But if you get physical and make some plays, you could make it tough for him. So yeah, I think right at 9 to 15 is solid. He's still 23, which is crazy. So he'll be up there soon.
Josh, you have the Google Doc poll on Not Your Boy, so this is all you.
All right, yeah, we'll go into the next game now. The Tampa Bay Bucks versus Washington football team, which actually turned out to be a much better game than I think anybody anticipated it being. I mean, when the news broke that Alex Smith was out, I think everyone was kind of like, well, this is just going to be a blowout. But how do you say his last name?
Heineke, right?
Heineke came in, put up some great numbers, had just an overall really good game for the team. But Tampa Bay did wind up winning. And these past 5 to 6 weeks, that offense has really been clicking. So, CJ, do you think that this is where they need to be? Do you think they have championship hopes with how good this offense has been?
Absolutely. I think a key part is Antonio Brown. I think, of course, off the field, he had his issues for these past few years, but I think he understood. This is his last chance, even though he's extremely talented. But if you're somebody on the team and you're hurting teams every single where you go, it doesn't matter how talented you are, guys. These guys are not going to take you. So Tom trusted him, Bill Arians trusted him, and he's been playing well. Last week he had 11 catches, $130.
It's not unprepared if the Wi-Fi doesn't work with your boy. I was very prepared. Had the dock done, the camera set up. I even here's how dedicated I was for the show going forward. I usually do it downstairs in my brother's room because away from everybody, you don't want to be interrupted or anything like that. But I've been lagging recently, so I was like, I'm gonna bring it upstairs, closer to the router. Maybe I'll be good. Clearly, and I mean clearly, did not work.
You're good, bro. You're good. But
so,
I think
we broke out the phone. Right? Okay. You always got to have a backup plan. You're only as good. I learned this being a communications major. My man said one time, "You're only as good as your backup camera." And let me tell you something. Prepared.
Yeah, but I think the Bucks they have the opportunity to win it all, man. I mean, that offense looks good. You just don't know who's going to have a big night. Brady, Brady's a surgeon. He's gonna give it to the open guy. To have Ronald Jones didn't even play on Saturday. So once they get him and Fournette in the backfield, it's going to be tough. The offensive line has done a great job of protecting Tom. Earlier in the season, they kind of struggled. They were getting pressure on him, but they figured it out, which is key with a guy like Tom. So I think they have all the opportunities to really do something this year. I mean, going up against the Saints, they've had their number this season. Clapped the Bucks in both games, especially that Sunday night game. Was really tough to watch. So I'm pretty sure they're ready for them round 3. But I got to give credit to the Washington football team too. I mean, Heineke, he played ball. A lot of people just thought they were just going to lay down. That defense made some key plays, and he made some plays with his feet as well. I think with that division, they're a quarterback away, for sure. I think we've heard some ramblings potentially about Cam Newton possibly going there. Obviously, he has a great relationship with Ron Rivera. Going to a Super Bowl together back 5 years, exactly 5 years ago.
Bye.
Yeah, 5 years ago. So I think that would be perfect for him to go there and still be able to play some winning football in a division where that's wide open as ever. So so I think they're they're right there. They're for sure. Chase Young, they got some boys up front. They made some key plays, but the Bucks are just too much, man. Mike Evans, for a guy to not even really be 100%, he was making some big plays.
Yeah, I think the Bucks got a chance to compete with anybody. I heard it. I don't know. Remember what I was watching, but Tom Brady's never lost to the same team 3 times in a year. And listen, I'm just saying, I'm not picking against them this time either. So
Never, man.
I definitely, hell no, nope, never picking against Tom. I've learned over the years because listen, I'm a kind of a half as glass empty kind of guy sometimes. So some of those tougher playoff matchups, I was like, I don't know if the Patriots are going to win. Let me tell you, that Super Bowl run they made where they beat the Rams, I think I picked against them in my head every single week. Every single time. So I refuse to bet against him now. I think it's going to be a really fun game, though. I think that they're, like you said, Josh, the Bucks kind of found their offense. The Saints obviously have been playing pretty well, but they've choked in the playoffs recently. So, you got to see where that goes. This is probably going to be Drew Brees last year as well, so I know the team's probably going to play extra hard for him. I think it's just going to be really fun. And when it comes to Washington, kind of like what CJ said, that division is the Grand Canyon right now with how open it is. Anybody can win it. It really does not, look like there's a clear person. Maybe when Dak comes back, if the Cowboys decide to re-sign him, it'll be a little easier to determine who's going to win it. But a quarterback away, Washington really could be. Like CJ said, the defensive line is pretty solid. I think they have like 5 first-round picks on the D-line. Terry McLaurin is an animal. I believe Logan Thomas, is that the tight end's name, I believe?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, so he's been, great. I picked him up in fantasy late in the year. Thank you for helping me win my chip. So he's been playing pretty solid. I love Antonio Gibson. I know that there's some people who are still kind of skeptical about him. I think he's a really good running back. So I like Washington moving forward. I think Heineke definitely earned himself a roster spot, to say the least, and probably a competition to see if he can be their starting quarterback going into next year.
Yeah, I completely agree with both you guys. This Bucks offense has found its way, and the fact that they're getting Antonio Brown involved as much as they have been recently is a scary thing for defenses, because you're already worried. You've been worried about Mike Evans and Godwin all year, and now they're like, all right, let's try using Antonio Brown now. It's a scary sight, but there's also the other side of the ball. Their defense was really good last season. They've been up and down this year. They've had some really good games and some really bad games. Do you think this defense, CJ, is good enough to get them further in the playoffs?
Front 7, yes. I'll say the secondary is up in the air. They had some moments, even against the Washington football team, where they struggled. There's a lot of wide open guys. Todd Bowles does like to blitz a lot, and going against a guy like Drew Brees, he's seen it all, just like Tom. He's seen all these defenses. It's nothing new to him. So, that's going to be a challenge, and they're going to really have to rely on that front 7 to kind of get in Brees' face and disrupt him. Devin White and Levante David, man, those guys fly all over the field, man. Those guys are exceptional linebackers, and Devin White as well. Both of those guys able to blitz on the outside and in the interior gap. So it's going to be a true chess match between Bowles and Sean Payton next week, but. I think they understand what's at stake. For a lot of these guys, they haven't had winning football for the majority of their careers. so they know they also know that Tom is not going to be there forever. So they want to max out and play at a high level. And I know Tom is going to get those guys ready on both ends. Just by the way he practices, by the way he works, so it's gonna be a great chess match. Yeah, it's gonna be a great chess match. But I like their defense. I think they made key plays on Saturday when it mattered. But the big test, one big test is one of the big tests will definitely be next week against Drew.
Yeah, I like their defense. I think that they should definitely make the adjustment in this game. Like CJ said, they blitz a lot. Like Todd Bowles loves to blitz people, and you're going against Drew Brees. You've seen everything. He can, shift the line. He can, change the play if he really needs to. So he's seen basically everything that you can offer somebody. I would sit back and try to play coverage in this, and I know that also Drew Brees can probably pick you apart, but if you can keep everything in front of you, I would, if I'm the Bucks, I want a lot more. Listen, if you have to go down the field, you're going to have it in 14 plays. I don't want to blitz and then all of a sudden Drew Brees can throw it over your head. It's not going to be to Michael Thomas because he only runs slants, but maybe to Emmanuel Sanders or something like that for a 20-yard gain, and then you're going down the field in 6-7 plays instead of having put together 14, 12 play drives where eventually I feel like something is going to go wrong. I mean, if you have to have that many plays, something is usually going to go a little haywire. So if I'm the Bucks, I would switch up the game plan. I mean, if anything, you got to switch up the game plan of whatever you did last time they played, because last time they played, it was embarrassing. Like, I don't even know. I don't know what happened in the meeting rooms. I don't know if somebody had a fantasy championship game they were playing in, if they were betting against themselves. I don't know what happened in that game, but the defense looked abysmal. The offense wasn't really doing anything. They couldn't protect Brady, but like you said, the offense has gotten a lot better. I think this game is going to be on the defense for sure, because I think the offense has come together. And like you said, now that they got AB involved, Mike Evans, I don't know if he was 100% in the last game they played against the Saints. I don't know if that's when he was still dealing with a little bit of a hamstring issue. And I know he's not 100% now, but I think he's definitely better than what he was in that last matchup. So it's going to be a chess match for sure. Todd Bowles, versus Sean Payton and Drew Brees. You kind of want to give the edge to Drew Brees and Sean Payton, but Todd Bowles has done a pretty solid job with this Bucs defense. So, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think this is probably going to be early candidate for game of the playoffs.
Yeah, I think this game is definitely going to be one everybody's going to be watching just because of what happened last time they faced off. I don't think anybody's expecting that to happen again this time around with the way Brady's been playing and that offense has looked. So it should be a good game. But going to the other team, you guys kind of touched on Heineke a little bit ago, but do you think he deserves a chance to compete for the starting job next season after his performance just being thrown into the fire? CJ, you think he's got a chance to start next year?
It's possible. It's possible. I mean, Haskins is gone. Don't know what they're going to do with Alex Smith. He played really well, man. But I think they're going to bring probably another guy, maybe another quarterback in there as well. Just to keep the competition going, just to see. He did play well. A lot of people were shocked. Even Mahomes gave him a shout out on Twitter during the game for how well he played. When a lot of people thought, like we said, it was going to be, a complete blowout. But I do like Cam over there. I really do. I think that's a really good fit for him. Because Ron knows what he can do and what he can't do, and he's going to call the right plays for him. So I like Cam Newton with the Washington football team, and again with you got Dak coming off the ankle, Wentz or Hurts, we don't know yet after the firing of Doug P. And then Daniel Jones. So Cam could be easily the best quarterback in the division, probably, right there with him and Dak. So
let's not get ahead of ourselves here, CJ.
I mean, just off the chemistry he has with Ron, I think that's a factor. And like I said, that division is always the magic number is 9 to win. So, and the Redskins got there with 3 quarterbacks this year. So if they get if they got any consistent quarterback play, they run away with the division, man. So I think Heineke will still be there. Definitely made some noise. And if he doesn't get a spot in Washington, I think some other teams will definitely look at him. Obviously not for a starting role, but maybe for a backup if need be. Because I always feel like the second most valuable position in football is the backup quarterback for sure. So you got to have those.
Yeah, I think if anything, you give Heineke a chance out of the respect of what he did in the game. That play he made where he avoided the sack and then rolled out of the pocket and dove for that touchdown. Coming in the game, you could have given me $1,000 if I guessed that properly properly, and there is absolutely no chance I would have thought that was going to happen. I mean, then again, I didn't know anything about Heineke before this game. I know he was in the XFL or the AAF. I don't remember which one. I think actually it was the XFL.
Yeah,
I didn't know anything about him, so it was definitely a shock to me. But good on him. I think, like I said, you kind of just give him you throw him a bone and you say, hey, go out and compete with the job. Even if you have no real intentions of giving it to him, I think out of respect, he kind of deserves, what's happening.
Yeah, I agree. With both you guys. I think he deserves an opportunity, but when you bring in a guy like Cam, it's not going to be very many times where you're going to beat him out in the quarterback battle, especially when your head coach is the guy he's had a lot of success with. And then this, I absolutely love it. I think Teddy B, he had an up and down season. I think Haskins has a lot of character issues. I think he's still living like he's kind of in college. And our entire coaching staff has been dealing with college students outside of the season their entire careers. So that I think bringing him there would give us a nice young prospect and hopefully get us some success before Joe Brady takes $1 billion to go be a head coach somewhere.
Him and Dwayne Haskins and Lemon Pepper Lou are best friends.
And James, you could throw Harden in there too.
No, not James Harden. James Harden loves him. Nice gentleman's club, as they say.
I like Haskins in Carolina. Why not? I mean, I just again, like Josh said, it's really, has he matured? Was him getting cut a turning point in his life, in his football career? He has ability. There are awesome times where he makes some plays like what are you doing? But Joe Brady, he's coached Joe Burrow. He's coached some really good guys. I think he came from the Saints before going to LSU as well. So he's seen some pretty good quarterbacks. So if they feel like they could develop him, but at QB, you have to be a leader of men. You have those guys. They have to trust you, and not just the guys on offense, on defense too. So it looked bad. It looked bad this year. So hopefully he could turn it around and keep his career going.
Yeah, back to Washington. They, like you guys were talking about, I mean, this division is wide open. Anybody can really go out and win it. Do you guys think Washington has a good chance to repeat as division champs?
Yeah.
That's tough only because, bro, there hasn't been like a division repeat champion in there for like forever, I think. It's been like 10 years or something like that. Nobody's repeated.
Yeah, it's tough, but they have the formula to do it, to repeat. Like we said, they just need some at least a little bit of consistency at quarterback, and they're in every game. So, and like I said, you just look at the other teams in that division. It's a lot of questions about those teams, especially at quarterback. So, Washington could be one of those guys to, get the check first. And get that guy in the center that they feel like they can win games with. They could easily repeat. They got the defense. All of those guys are young. I don't think they have to pay them yet, so they have a shot.
Yeah, I definitely think it really just comes down to who's at quarterback for them. I think it's going to be another really bad year for that division. The Eagles are going through retooling. The Giants are the Giants, and the Cowboys are the Cowboys. So it'll be another season where a team with 8 wins gets a home field playoff game. But moving on to next weekend, we got the divisional round.
Oh, we missed Seattle and the Rams.
Connie, you didn't even put it in the docs. See, this is why I make this.
No. So here's the thing. No, listen. We usually do 4 games on the recap, and I know that there were 6 games. I thought, Saints game you might as well not even talk about. And then I left off the Rams one because I thought that was the least, out of the other 5.
You just didn't want us to come at your boy Russ or come at that team you've been talking about all year.
No, listen, you can come at Russ all you want because I think the last time I checked, I made a phone call to the Seattle Police Department to make sure that the GM is arrested for assault for what he's doing to Russell Wilson. Because it's just absolutely unbelievable that they're letting this man get killed like that.
Yeah, that O-line is.
Yeah, I mean, Josh, how many times have we prayed for Deshaun Watson and Joe Burrow on this show?
I mean, literally up until Joe Burrow's injury, every week we're like, let's just hope Joe Burrow doesn't die. Like, let's hope he doesn't die today. That's the whole
And you know what? And that's the thing. I think I'm going to have to start praying for my man Russ, too. Like, I don't know what is going on.
CJ, you told him, bro, I'm supposed to stay under wraps.
There's no inconsistency. I'm always here. You know, listen, the only thing that's inconsistent is this Wi-Fi, bro. CJ's got his own pod, you know, that I'm talking about, getting it back up and running, because we need CJ the contributor out of here, bro. This man needs to be heard.
Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you guys.
All right, we'll touch on the Seattle game. So basically, I mean, Seattle just had no chance against that Rams defense. They were in Russell Wilson's face all day. Outside of that scramble throw that Wilson had to DK, outside of that offense wasn't doing anything.
That was a toss too.
Yeah, it was a nice throw. But then you look at the Rams. I mean, they start the game with Wofford. He gets injured. Jared Goff comes in there with, I mean, I'm pretty sure there were still stitches in his thumb. So it was a tough game for them too. It wasn't the most impressive game on either side's offense. It was more of a defensive battle, and the Rams wound up coming out on top. CJ, what did you think about it from the Seahawks? You think they could have won that game?
Yeah, there were moments, but like you guys talked about, I mean, if those guys up front aren't able to block, you know, the quarterback, it's going to be tough. And I think teams really started to figure out, you know, how to slow down Russell Wilson. I mean, you got to get pressure in those A and B gaps and contain him on the outside, because if he's able to roll out and make those improv plays, it's going to be tough to stop him. And, you know, I got to give credit to Brandon Staley, Rams defensive coordinator, did a great job setting up a game plan and to, you know, containing Russell Wilson. And Jalen Ramsey, man, just like, yo, I'm taking DK today. And you know, maybe a little bit of safety help here and there, but, you know, he pretty much locked him down. He's locked him down in all three meetings this year. Definitely best cornerback. Got to put him best cornerback in the league right now. So, you know, he did an exceptional job, and he's going to have another tough battle against Devontae Adams next week. So that's going to be fun to watch. So I just think that, you know, Aaron Donald played well before he went out. Michael Brockers, those guys up front, you know, they're dominant. A lot of people talk about McVay and his creative style offensively, but the defense really carried them this season, getting some crucial W's for them to even be here. So got to give them credit. And Goff is gutsy guy, man. You know, had the thumb injury, but, you know, they stuck to the game plan. Cam Akers had a really good game. They ran the ball well, and hopefully he could come back and because they're gonna need him against Green Bay. It's gonna have to make some plays down the field, going up against a guy like Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I think outside of that Rams defense, Cam Akers was huge for them. I mean, that play he had down the sideline, get them in range to score. He was just big for them on that. Connie, what did you think of the game?
Yeah, it was that was definitely, you know, the big story. You know, for me, Aaron Donald going out was something that you really got to look out for, especially going into next week. Obviously, their defense still played pretty well, but without Aaron Donald, I mean, he's obviously consistently in the Defensive Player of the Year category, so you got to make sure you look out for that one. And like CJ said, Jalen Ramsey, listen, I've been supporting my man Gilly Lock over here for forever. I'm still not giving up on him. I refuse, because I'm a Homer Patriot fan. But, you know, Jalen and Gilmore are definitely tied right now for number one. But, yeah, Devontae Adams versus Jalen Ramsey next week is going to be a hell of a matchup. I don't know what chance I'm really giving the Rams, only because, you know, I don't know how their quarterback situation is really going to look like. I don't know if Jared Goff, because it's not even like, you know, remember Brady a few years ago had like the stitches in his hands, there's like pins in his thumb. Like, there is no way that can feel comfortable trying to grip the football and, you know, throw it 40 times or however many times he's going to have to do it. So it could get a little dicey. Good thing for him. I don't know if the Packers are known for their pass rush very much, but I think I think it's going to be interesting. And listen, like I said, prayers out for Russell Wilson because they just no longer. First he was let Russ cook, and now they don't even want. I guess they don't want him cooking anymore because they're trying to get him killed out here.
Yeah, it was definitely a tough game for Russ. That offensive line has to be their priority one. I know they need a running game. I know they could use some defensive help, but if you're forcing Russ to run out of the pocket and make amazing throws every play, you're never going to have success. But hopefully the Rams can get it done next week. I don't think they will either, but that'll lead us into the predictions. So, Connie, we restarted. We have fresh slates, and we both went 4-2 in the wild card weekend. Somehow, some way, you knew the Browns were going to win. I had no.
Oh, I tried telling everybody.
Somehow, some way, and then both of us picked the Seahawks, which was a loss, and then you picked the Titans, and I picked the Ravens. So we just split one game basically, and both lost the other. But now we're in the divisional round. We'll just go order. I'll say mine, then we'll just go Connie, CJ. Bucks versus Saints. I think the Bucks are on fire right now, but if it is Drew Brees' last season, I think all these dudes would be aware of it. I think they're going to go play really hard for him, and I think the Saints get it done.
Give me my dad, Tampa Bay for the win.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Bucks. Marshawn Lattimore versus Mike Evans. That's gonna be the matchup of the game for sure. Marshawn's had his number these last few games when they've gone up against each other. So if Mike's able to get going, they're gonna have a really good shot. And I look for AB, man. Make some big plays. He was top 2, top 3 a year and a half ago, and he's in the slot.
I'm pretty sure AB still has like the most touchdown catches.
Connie, even Nana knows.
Yo, stop talking about Nana, Alex. I'll have to come over to California and smack you. But nah, Nat listens to me because she's a smart, wonderful woman. She's going with the Bucks too.
Yeah, I'm going with Tampa. Yeah.
All right, you guys Bucks, me Saints. Maybe that's where I get the lead on Connie.
See, here's the thing. I went 4-2 on purpose because I smacked Josh so bad in the regular season. But I wanted to make the playoffs. I wanted to make the playoffs.
But so often it's going to be on his gravestone, too. It's going to be like, beat Josh 2020 regular season. Like, congrats, dude. I already gave you your props.
And, the fantasy playoffs. Just saying.
That don't even count, bro. That don't even count. All right, next game.
It doesn't count.
That's not even part of the show, bro. That's not even part of the show.
Part of the show. So
just because if I would have won that, you would have been like, no, it's irrelevant. Like, dude,
well, you see,
you're
but,
one
what the saying is, to the victor goes the spoils, baby.
I'm about to mute you, bro. All right, next game, Packers versus Rams. I think it could be a good game just because of that Rams defense, but I think Aaron Rodgers is the MVP this season, and I think he gets it done.
Yeah, I got to go with the Packers. I just don't have faith in the Rams quarterback situation.
Yeah, I got to go 3 for 3. I got to go with Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers playing great football right now. Those guys had a week to get healthy, get right. So I think he's going to have a good game. It's going to be a chess match early, but I think Green Bay pulls away late.
All right, next game, Bills versus Ravens. Honestly, I could see this game going either way. I think Josh Allen's going to do his thing, but I do think that Ravens defense has stepped it up a lot lately, so that could make it very tough for him. And I'm going to go with the Ravens. I think that this is the year they get to that AFC Championship.
See, I'm going with the Bills here strictly because I want to talk trash about Lamar Jackson and say that that Josh Allen is better. So I'm going with the Bills.
What did Lamar do to you?
But here's the thing: I am not very confident in my pick because the Bills can't really, have their rush defense is a little to be desired for, and the Ravens only run the ball. So it's definitely not a good matchup. But I have to go. I can't pick against Josh Allen. I can't do it. I've been on the train all year. I can't hop off now. That's just fact, though. That's just fact. Yo, I think I live in Alex's head rent free, bro. He be tagging me in tweets talking about this looks like Connie. Like, bro, Alex, focus on your money, bro, or like the 18 females you're talking to right now.
I'm crying. I'm, I'm going with I'm gonna go with Baltimore. I think it's gonna be a really close game. Like you said, Buffalo doesn't have a great rush defense, and they don't really run the ball too well as well. So, and Baltimore's defense has been playing lights out. I do think Tre'Davious White, I think he's going to take away Hollywood Brown, which is their really only deep threat on the deep threat on the outside. So, but it's going to be I think it's going to be an ugly game. I could definitely see like a similar to last week against the Titans, but I think Lamar, it's going to be tough to stop him, man. And I think, and you got Marlon Humphreys on Stephon Diggs. It should be a great matchup. So I'm gonna go with Baltimore. I just think they make enough plays, control the clock, and get the W on the road.
Now the final game, the battle of insurance quarterbacks. We got Progressive with Baker, it's State Farm with Pat Mahomes. I think it could be interesting, but I've been saying Chiefs repeat all year, so I'm going with the Chiefs.
Josh, I don't give you much credit on this show.
Never, none. Yeah, I give me my credit for that.
Don't lie. I give you credit sometimes, but that battle of the insurance quarterback, that was top tier. Like that T-shirt worthy. But yeah, I have to go with the Chiefs. As much as I love the Browns, I would love for the Browns to win this game because then I'm going to sit down and only watch Colin Cowherd for the next week. Have to talk about Baker Mayfield being in the AFC Championship game, and I want nothing more in life than for that to happen. But I'm still going to go with the Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Kansas City as well. If the Browns can control the clock and keep the ball out of this guy's Mahomes' hands, it's going to be tough. But I just think they can score at will, man. And Cleveland's secondary is still shaky, and I just think they know how to win. They got the Super Bowl last year, so I'm going to go with Kansas City.
And that'll do it for the prediction part. And now we'll move away from the NFL for a little bit and touch on some NBA. LaMelo came into the league. A lot of skeptics about him. He's been playing everywhere but in college and in the U.S. He's been up and down, and he's just hyped because of his dad. But he's been balling out. He's had some really good games. Youngest player ever to have a triple-double. CJ, you think he's the real deal, or you think this is kind of just the player he's going to be?
I think he's the real deal. I think we've seen this. I've been watching him play since high school, back in Chino Hills, back when Lonzo and his the middle brother Jello was there. So, and they were doing damage. He's developed his game. He's an all-around player. I think I like how I do want them to increase his minutes a little bit. The Hornets, they should increase a little bit more. Just give him the keys. But they have three other guys that could come up with the ball and make plays, and Devontae Graham, Terry Rozier, and even Gordon Hayward as well. So, man,
I think I would go with Melo, bro. I don't know. I don't have faith.
The reason I would go Lonzo is I think he'll have more team success. I think his team is just overall better built for the future than the Hornets. I think LaMelo is going to put up much better numbers, probably more personal accolades.
Josh, in the NBA nowadays, bro, LaMelo could dip anytime he wants. It seems like though. So even if Lonzo has the team success with the Pelicans, LaMelo could just say, "Hey, I'm dipping out of here."
Yeah, I mean he's got some years. That rookie contract's kind of got him tied down to Charlotte for the next 4 years. But still, even after that, he could leave or have to deal with a Lonzo situation where he gets traded. But I just think it's going to come down to that team success. I think they'll both have really solid personal careers. But I mean, you look at that Pelicans team with Zion, Brandon Ingram. I mean, they got so many great young players. Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I mean, they just got a lot of talent for the future, and they're going to have title hopes within the next 5 years with them progressing.
I think it's a possibility they could play together. I mean, you look at Rozier's contract is up. He has a team option, and then Devontae Graham. He's going to obviously they could keep him. Lonzo's a free agent this off season. So there's no guarantee that he didn't sign an extension with New Orleans. So there's no guarantee that he's going to stay there. So it's definitely a possibility. He could he's a really good defender, so he could kind of mask some of the things that LaMelo doesn't do on that side of the ball. I think LeVar talked about it, about those guys going to the Hornets. And I think it's very possible. We could see it. Why not? I mean, they're a small market team. They got to put people in seats. Got to have the ball Eastern Conference. It's outside of maybe 4 or 5 teams. It's they could now it's 10 teams now to get in that play-in. They're all young. I'm down to see Triple B's in Charlotte, man. Jordan Odin team. That's crazy storylines. That's crazy storylines.
See, that's why I can't have it happen, CJ. Listen, I wish nothing but success for the Ball brothers, because they're professional athletes. Kudos to them. I can't deal with LeVar, bro. I can't do it. Call me a hater, whatever you want. Nobody annoys me as a parent more than LeVar Ball. He is the most annoying person. And that whole stretch where they had LeVar on like every single sports talk show might have been the worst time in sports talk show history I've ever seen. Like,
he'd still be on there, if he didn't get banned.
Listen, I see LeVar Ball. There's not a chance I click on it with his bald head. I can't do it, bro.
Say what you want about LeVar, but he was a great dad, man. I mean, got all 3 of his kids.
He got his kids to the NBA. Kudos to him. I still want to fight him.
It's just
I don't even know what that means.
Oh man.
Oh, I'm like, you mean the
leader?
No. The leader of the pack?
No.
Or is he calling? I think he's calling me. No. I know he's calling me annoying. Don't worry. But I'm going to twist it into saying that since I'm LeVar, that means I'm the leader of the pack.
All right, you take it how you want, Connie. But I've been seeing a lot of people on Twitter saying like, how did the NBA handle the COVID situation in the bubble so much better? And now they're having all these cases, and it's pretty simple. The bubble, everyone's there. It's a lot easier to control it than when they're traveling city to city. Like regardless if they play teams back to back, stay there for a week, they're still traveling. Still a lot of moving pieces going into that. But it's just weird, because they were so good with it in the bubble. They really were. And now it seems like they have no control on it, no handle on it. I mean, today it's been crazy with a lot of games getting canceled due to it. And, the 76ers had Seth Curry on the bench a few nights ago while he had COVID. So it's been a weird situation. But overall, the basketball has been really good, CJ, what's the most impressive team for you so far?
Most impressive team, I got to go with Phoenix. Have to go with Phoenix. They've been playing really solid basketball right now. I think they have about five or six guys averaging 10 or more points. Monty Williams done a great job. Obviously got to be up there for head coach of the year candidate, head coach of the year. So they've been playing excellent basketball right now. A lot of people had them in that 6 or 7 range, but they're playing good ball. McCall, it's going to be up and down.
I'm a little disappointed, bro. You asked the question, I was like, oh, CJ saying the Knicks right away. He got the hat on and everything, and then went to the Suns. I was a little shocked.
I got to keep it objective, bro. But I think, I'll just say this, for the Knicks, just it's going to be ups and downs. They're not the most talented team. They don't have, top 10 guys on the team or anything like that. But the way they're being coached now this year, they're going to be in some games and have some opportunity to win some games against some really good teams. So I like the direction they're going in, but they're going to be games like yesterday against the Nuggets where they got slapped, and then there's going to be other games, where they shockingly win some games, like how they beat the Bucks. So that's it's going to be inconsistent play until they get some really talented guys on the roster. But I think I gotta still go with Phoenix though. I think they're Chris Paul, man. I mean, I'll say this about Paul. I mean, we look at LeBron and we look at his impact, when he goes to each and every team and they win. Chris Paul has that same type of impact. The only thing, he's not 6'9", 260 and can jump out the gym. So, but the intangibles and the IQ and what he brings to a team on and off the court is very similar. And I think, look at what he's done with Houston and OKC last year, and now with Phoenix. He's definitely, panning out the latter stages of his career to a phenomenal one. So hopefully he can get that ring. I don't know. But definitely if he doesn't, he's a winner for sure, regardless of how you want to define that.
since CJ won't say it, I'll go with the Knicks. Why not? I mean, nobody expects anything from them. They're kind of just a constant disaster. But hey, they've been playing pretty nice basketball so far. And it's CJ, you understand, bro. New York is so up and down fair weather fan, bro. Like all of a sudden I'll be talking to people on Xbox, something like that. They're like, "Oh yeah, bro, I'm watching the Knicks game." And I'm like, bro, you've never watched basketball in your damn life. And now you're out here watching the Knicks game. So hey, they got the people kind of excited right now. Like you said, there's going to be ups and downs. I don't think anybody expects the Knicks out here to win like 50 games or anything like that. But in the East, you don't have to really do much winning anyway. So they can sneak in. Like you said, an 8 seed. There's the play-in spots now. So. Maybe the Knicks are playoff bound. Maybe they try to add something towards the deadline. I don't know what their plan is, but hey, it's been exciting so far. For the Knicks fans that are used to the 1-9 starts to the season, 5-5. You kind of feel like NBA champions right now.
Yeah, you should try to look at a guy like Bill, man. You look at Washington, that franchise.
Bro, somebody, for the love of God, save Bradley Beal.
Yeah,
speaking of Bradley Beal and the Suns earlier, Wizards are currently up 23 on the Suns. They're getting a healthy dose of Bradley Beal. He's got 21 through 3 quarters so far. So
they're balling out, man. They're playing good basketball. And it's tough too. They just lost their Thomas Bryant with the ACL.
Yeah, that's tough.
Man, they're playing inspired right now, but they still they got some flaws they need to work on.
Yeah.
No. Before we say anything else, Bradley Beal with early quote of the year potential, where this man said they can't go to Forest Park.
Yeah,
that's top tier, bro. That's top tier.
And it's 100% factual too.
No, yeah, the Wizards have definitely been disappointing. I don't think there was huge expectations for them anyway coming in this year. Obviously, they got rust, but him and Bradley Beal, him and John Wall at this point in their careers are essentially similar players with how they play. But I got 2 teams for surprising. I got a good one and a bad one. Good one, I'm going with the Cavs. They're 5-5, but they started this year really hot. Just fun to watch. Colin Sexton and Garland finally got that backcourt going. They have Drummond this year. Kevin Porter playing really good. Isaac Okoro was looking really nice. So I was impressed with them with just how much guys like Sexton and Garland have developed in this weird offseason that they've had. So I don't expect them to be a playoff team or anything. They'll probably be another lottery pick, but they've been surprisingly very entertaining for me. And then surprisingly bad, Toronto. They've really struggled. Siakam is getting clowned all over social media for spin moves, man. It's bad.
Julius Randle treatment.
Yeah, he's getting that Randle treatment. I don't know what their problem is. They just look really bad. They look out of sync. And these past couple seasons, they've been really, really good. And this is the same exact team, basically, just without Ibaka and with Anunoby playing a bigger role. But they've just sucked. They've sucked. They lost to a Warriors team yesterday, and Steph didn't even play that good. So, it's just been bad for them all this way. But our last segment, we have Connie's favorite, where he can just talk crap to me. It is Stop the Cap. Yeah, Connie, we'll start with you, bro. What are you going to yell at me about this time?
No. See, I'm going to give you a week off, and I'm not even going to attack anybody on the show because I think we're all brilliant people. I would like Spectrum to stop capping that my Wi-Fi is good because as you can see from this show, I might have to make a phone call pretty soon because I'm getting a little fed up now. Now I'm getting a little annoyed out here on the phone instead of the nice, beautiful. I got a face camera, got a nice microphone. Can't even use it yet because the Wi-Fi want to act up. So you know what? Spectrum, stop capping. Pull up to the crib so I can get the Wi-Fi fixed. Maybe you can sponsor us too. If you do good, we'll shout you out, anything like that. But gosh, it was definitely, this show was definitely a struggle. I apologize to the people out there who wanted to hear my wonderful opinions, and I apologize to my two great friends for the Wi-Fi acting up. But hey, we're back. The phone worked perfectly. I got to put, shout out my mom for buying me a 10-foot charger so I can keep the phone alive while the show's on. So,
It's clutch.
Spectrum, you're on my laminated list right now. You're on my list.
CJ, what you got, man? Anybody say anything crazy?
Anything crazy? I just want to know what's going on with Kyrie, man. Just not playing any. Yeah,
we didn't even talk about. Kyrie is a crackhead.
He said the reason he didn't play is I didn't want to.
Yeah,
dude, what?
It's a weird dynamic
because they're trying to say like it was because of the stuff at the Capitol, but then like he's also not telling them the actual reason. Like, bro, Kyrie is a weird dude, bro.
I'm just thinking about what KD's thinking about.
Man. He's like,
KD's thinking, damn, I really should have traded Kyrie for James Harden.
Man, I don't know what's going on. Obviously, they had, the high expectations after, destroying the Warriors in that first game. And now here we are 10 games in, and it's like Kyrie's ignoring Steve Nash. So phone calls and not seeing him. So I'm just interested to see how this season plays out with them going forward.
We know why he left now.
To get more sage. Yeah. That sounds about right.
Nah, that sounds about Kyrie, bro.
Yeah,
flat.
Definitely.
We should have known all this was coming when he said the world was flat.
Yeah, for sure. I'm back, Connie, on this one. Stop the cap. I mean, Spectrum. Come on now. We can't be dealing with these interruptions. Telling him he's got good Wi-Fi when his voice is cracking the whole time. He's frozen in the same spot for 10 minutes. They're lying, bro. Stop the cap.
No, facts, bro. Like, I'm sick of it. I think I determined it, though. Because usually on a two-person show, I'm all right. It's whenever we add the third person in. Because, like, on Thursday, I was doing backstop banter, and then all of a sudden Alex joined for no reason. And all of a sudden my Wi-Fi went crazy. And then Alex left, and I was fine again. I think it's the third person, but you know what? It was worth it because we got CJ on the show. And even if I wasn't here for some of it, I have been trying to get my man CJ on the show forever now. So I will deal with Wi-Fi problems to have my boy on the show.
All right, Connie, you're much better with the outro, and I don't remember the ad, so you got this.
Oh, don't worry, people. The Wi-Fi might not be good, but what is good is mybookie.ag, and make sure you use code USN100 to double your first deposit up to $1,000. So if you are into the betting world, like I know a lot of us are, head on over there. I always go back to the first week of the NFL season, which I cannot believe we are already in the playoffs. Like, this NFL season flew by, but I think the Chiefs had to lose by 56 points the first week. So my bookie's definitely always doing some good things for you, trying to get you some money over there. Then with your winnings, as I always say, you go over to RX10 and you use code RX10-USN to save you 10% on your entire order. They got the premium CBD products over there. So if you're sore from going to the gym or, sore from running back and forth from your room to the living room trying to fix the router, put some CBD cream on, you'll feel brand new in the morning. And last but certainly, and I mean certainly, not least, go over to teespring.stores/unwrapped and go check out the store. If you want to support Unwrapped, we have T-shirts, we got leggings that I wear all the time, we got fanny packs, we got everything that you possibly need. And then, of course, if you want to scroll down and support the shows that you love so much, I know me and Josh got our generational sports merch. Backstop Banter just came out with merch as well. Ladies First has it, the hard count, Fights Unwrapped. So if you want to support an individual show, make sure you go and do that. But if you want to support the brand in general, teespring.stores/unwrapped is the thing to do. Now, of course, before we go again, CJ, what you got? Anything to plug for everybody?
Yeah, you guys can follow me on Twitter, CJ_James9. I have a gaming account as well, CJ versus the world. Catch me and Connie, chopping it up, talking football, talking NBA on Twitch, and working on a new show coming soon. Working on a new podcast, about to relaunch. So you follow me on those accounts. I'll definitely keep you guys updated. Connie, Josh, man, it's been a pleasure, bro. Thank you.
CJ, Hey, the 2K God, hell yeah! Watching this man play Parks last night at like 2 in the morning. That's my nighttime entertainment, bro. Everybody on the East Coast always going to sleep early, things
Right.
like that. Nah, bro. Me and CJ are awake grinding. Path to affiliate on Twitch. But
That's a
Josh,
fact.
what you got?
Yeah, follow me on Twitter at Josh8Linares. I'm hoping this Thursday me and Monique will be back with our UFC picks, and I'll just show some of my bets for the weekend. That'll be Thursday at 10.
Oh, Chinese basketball action?
Maybe, maybe. I'm heavy on college basketball lately, but we'll get the CBA in there, Euro League. I like to travel overseas, man. But yeah, that'll be at 11 p.m. Central Thursday. Follow me on Twitter at Josh8Linares to keep updated on that. And shout out to my brother for getting me the best shirt I've ever owned, little baby Yoda.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
It's
Nice.
my favorite shirt now. But yeah, tune in next Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Me and Connie will be back.
Well, hopefully I'll be back with the Wi-Fi. But yeah, like everybody said, make sure you follow me on Twitter, @AnthonyConnor_, and then follow the show, Gen Z Sports, where me and Josh post everything. Tweet our thoughts about sports. Follow us on TikTok as well, Gen Z Sports. Posting the highlights from the show. And like CJ said, we're on the road to affiliate here, baby. So make sure you go follow me on Twitch as well, Anthony_Conover. Go follow the gaming page, GamingUSN_. So we got this show Monday, 7 Eastern, like Josh said. Hopefully no troubles next week. But also have Backstop Banter on Thursday. Me and Michael break down everything in baseball. So I think we're starting. We've moved on from the AL and NL East. I think we're going over to the West Coast now. We're gonna focus on the NL West, AL West. So it'll be a lot of fun counting down the teams each week, breaking down stories and everything of that nature. But it was a pleasure. Josh, you were going to have to end the show because, of course, I can't be on the computer. But thank you for watching, everybody. It was definitely a pleasure for sure. See you next week.